What is up, AP people? We have a review video for you today on the election of 1948, arguably the greatest upset in United States presidential election history. So let's get going. All right, some key ideas going on before the election. Well, World War II ended in 1945, and the Cold War was in full effect. 1947 is a monumental year for U.S. foreign policy. We have containment, which was introduced by this guy, George Kennan. We have the Truman Doctrine, and we also have the Marshall Plan. I do have a video on these three things. Check it out in the link below, and it'll give you a detailed background on those three events. We also have HUAC, which stands for the House Committee on Un-American Activities, and that was led by Richard Nixon. Also in 1947, we have the Taft-Hartley Act, which limited the power of unions. It reversed the Wagner Act, which occurred during FDR's administration. And Truman campaigned in 1948 on overturning this act, although he never does. Okay, let's get to know the candidates of 1948. One, we have Harry S. Truman, the Democrat. He is running for re-election. Remember, he was not elected in 1944. FDR was. And he assumed the presidency upon FDR's death on April 12, 1945. That's also Henry Clay's birthday. And he campaigned across the country by train. And this was very similar to William Jennings Bryan's campaign in 1896. Thomas Dewey is the governor of New York. He's a Republican challenger. And in 1948, the Republican convention was the first televised convention ever. Henry Wallace was FDR's former vice president before Truman, and he campaigned on the Progressive Party ticket. And then we have a fourth guy, Strom Thurmond, who campaigned on the States' Rights Party, or also known as the Dixiecrats, and he's going to get a lot of support from the South. The dude lived to be like 102 or something like that. He was a senator for 50 years. All right, so the issues and the campaign. Well, Thomas Dewey campaigned on reducing the New Deal policies and limiting the power of labor. So he would be in favor of the Taft-Hartley Act. Truman campaigned on a bunch of things, including civil rights, increasing the minimum wage, and the continuation of the New Deal policies. And he is going to be successful in raising the minimum wage, but not on civil rights. That won't, unfortunately, happen for some time still. Wallace, a Progressive Party ticket guy, campaigned against Truman's foreign policies, particularly the Truman Doctrine and Marshall Plan. And Strom Thurmond was an anti-civil rights advocate and pro-Jim Crow laws. So we have four different issues in the election of 1948 through the candidates. So what are the results? Well, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is considered the greatest upset in presidential history. Now, if you go into my classroom, I have a little obsession with bobbleheads, and you'll notice that there's lots of bobbleheads here. I have Mount Rushmore up on top. Yes, Teddy Roosevelt's up there twice. Then I have presidents in the background in chronological order. Martin Luther King here. More presidents back there. You know, Napoleon. Look how short he is. Trump Lee even makes an appearance from Pawn Stars. And then, of course, I have the Reds down below. I want to focus on this guy right here. This is Harry Truman. And a close-up of this bobblehead will show him holding a newspaper that says Dewey defeats Truman. The Chicago Tribune ran the night of the election that Dewey defeated Truman. And there's this famous picture of Truman holding this newspaper. Of course it was wrong because Truman ends up becoming president. So let's look at the electoral map. Everything in blue are the states that Truman won. Dewey won the red, and Thurmond won the orange. You'll notice that Wallace does not appear in here. He did not win any electoral votes. Thurmond did win some, but mostly in the South. So let's talk about why did Truman win? Well, unions, farmers, and African Americans overwhelmingly voted for Truman. This is kind of the same theme that we'll see during FDR's administration. And many individuals did not want to waste a vote on a third-party candidate. So a lot of people who may have voted for Wallace ended up voting for Truman. And Democrats also won both houses of Congress in this election. So Truman had the opportunity with the Democrats in control of Congress to kind of overturn that Taft-Hartley Act, but he does not. All right, that's everything you need to know about the election of 1948. Thank you very much for watching. If you can take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Also, help me spread the word. Put this on Twitter or Facebook. Tell as many people as you know that would benefit from this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good day, guys.